There is a lot of advice out there on the internet about how to create an online offer for your business. And in this video, I want to talk through some of the things that I've done myself in building a successful online offer and some of the things that I believe are just simply a waste of time when it comes to building a successful online offer. I have been doing trial and error for about 5 solid years now in the online space. So I definitely believe that I have something to offer you when it comes to building an offer, sustaining an offer, and allowing your content to really drive the online presence of your business. So whether you have an existing offer or whether you don't have an offer at all and you're simply just interested in learning about what this could possibly do for your business, this is definitely the video for you. Hey guys, real quick intermission here. Have you ever wanted a content strategist of your own to spend 5 weeks with and look at all the nitty-gritty areas of your business and learn from them? Well, you are in luck because I am secretly opening the doors to one-on-one work with me. If you want to spend 5 weeks with me, where I take you through my entire process from literally managing your time all the way to automating your strategy, connecting your strategy to your offer, and creation tactics that allow you to spend less than 10 hours a month creating content, check out the explainer video below where I walk you through exactly what I do, exactly who I help, and how I can help you. So check out that explainer video below if you're interested. Now back to the video. This all really comes from this initial experience I had when I developed a wellness product business in 2020 called Brilliant Pit. I was making coffee eyebrow tint and rosemary hair oil. I was selling it on Etsy. I ran a Squarespace website. I had an Instagram following with all of my local community who initially built up that following. So I was heavily involved in local marketing and getting into groups of friends and having us all promote our business together. Long story short, I basically found that I was really good at marketing. I was really good at creating content. What I wasn't so good at was balancing the business part of actually being in your flow, being grounded in your business, creating the products, being the person who, if you're a strategist, if you're a solopreneur, doing the actual act of your business. I was finding it so hard to balance creating content and just doing my business. And eventually my business ended up basically flopping, for lack of a better word, even though it still exists. Brilliant Pit made me aware of a problem that I know a lot of you are dealing with. I know for a fact that you are a creative, you're a crafter, or you're a solopreneur of some sort, and you're looking for a way to balance this whole era of online business. Even if you're a local business, you probably want some form of an offer online. And when I say offer, I don't necessarily mean income. It could be that you just want to grow your email list and you want to do so in a way that provides value for people. So here is what not to do when you are building an offer for your online portion of your business or your online business. Do not base your offer off of current trends. So a current trend, a good example of this right now, would be anything associated with social media trends and trying to drive people to something of value through that medium, right? We don't want this to become unsustainable, and we don't want to use tactics that are eventually going to feel irrelevant, right? So do not base your offer or the way that people can pay for your offer or experience your offer. We don't want to lead people to that in a way that is unsustainable, feels inauthentic, no matter what, and doesn't actually just sustain this for the long term and make it easy for you to maintain. Because if you're having to be up on all the trends, if you're having to be in on the social media landscape, guess what? That is potentially a part-time job. And just take it from someone who is currently a social media manager full-time, and I have clients who I serve with content production, content marketing. You don't want to be relying on social media, okay? And if you like social media, keep it as something that stays fun, stays light, and isn't interwoven, interconnected to how you personally make money and sustain your income with your business. So the second thing is, do not build an offer if you don't have a clarified way or method of doing what you do best, whether it's your process, your method, or who you serve. So this is really just saying, get specific, get really specific about what you do, how you do it, and who you're going to serve with this. The reason that we want to be specific, and AKA this is also called niching, but the reason I'm using kind of different language around this is because it's not necessarily the same thing. There's a lot of advice out there, particularly about course creation, okay? A lot of people right now are saying, do not create a course and then try to sell it. And the point of that statement is that experts don't want you to create something without validating its likelihood of success with your target audience first. And I agree with it. I agree that it's smart to do that. I agree that you don't want to spend all this time creating something just to find out that it doesn't sell because it wasn't either what your client wanted, what your audience wanted, or if it just wasn't good and you needed validation in order to make it good and to kind of lead you into creating something that's the best it could be. The reason we want to actually create your own unique method first is because if you don't have a structured way of going about doing things, right? Say you just got into the meditation space, like you want to offer meditation to people, whether it's through workshops or your online YouTube channel, whatever that is, you just got into this space. What makes you different? And you don't want to get immediately after I said that, I hope you don't feel immediately like, well, I'm not any different. I need to find kind of like my footing in that. It's more about just like, can you leverage your experience? Can you leverage your way of meditating that's different than maybe other people? And the reason that we want to find some form, some foundational differentiation in what you do is because we want you to stand out. Being in the online space already means that we have the competition of the world. And there's nothing else in the world that can say, like, you are competing with the whole world. There's no other like field of career. Like the internet and being online is like a whole new game that we are just now playing. Okay. So the reason I want you to have some form of a method before you create your offer is because you need to create your offer about something that shows your authority and shows that there's a different way of doing this. It's kind of like the baseline of what you're going to offer is your unique approach to it. That's really all it is. Your unique approach can be your offer. I'll say that again. Your unique approach can be your offer, but it has to be unique and maybe take into account what makes you you, right? Like maybe you had 10 years of yoga experience before you went into meditation. So maybe your approach is more of a holistic yoga type of approach to meditation versus somebody who came from 10 years of studying psychology. Do you see how things can look different even if they're offering the same thing? Somebody who came from 10 years of yoga who's now getting into meditation versus somebody who spent 10 years as a psychologist now getting into meditation, their approach is most likely going to look very different. And there are so many other things that each of those people can leverage based on their life experience. They can leverage, oh, okay, I had this thing happen to me that allowed me to get really aware of trauma with meditation and like treating people with trauma. That's probably the psychologist side of it. Or if you were in yoga and then you learned how to do Reiki at the same time, maybe you have, do you see how it can go down many different rabbit holes? But all in all, you are unique. You're always going to be unique to you. There's nobody else like you in this world. And so you do have your own method, even if you don't think you do. You have your own method of doing things, and especially doing the thing that you love and the thing that you offer. You have an approach. So teach that approach and align your offer with this approach because it's different, it's unique, it's always going to be that way. You just have to kind of mirror that in your messaging and mirror that in how you promote what you offer. The third thing, okay? Do not build an offer without a very clear transformation from A to B. I know you've heard it before, so I'm not going to go deep into it. But the idea of this is that if you aren't taking people from one state to another state, there's no solid takeaway. There really isn't a solid takeaway from what you're offering. If you don't have an extremely clear transformation statement that you can say that your offer provides people, then work on that. You don't want to create an offer without this transformation in mind because people are going to be confused. You're not going to have this like clarity driven offer anyway, because it isn't just very clear of what you're doing, where the problem is, and what the solution is. So you have to get clear on that. Definitely do some work in terms of like building this transformation statement, or even finding out how you want to bring people from A to B, depending on what you do for business. Okay, last thing, don't wait to be validated. I know this sounds counterintuitive. Obviously, an idea should be validated in terms of like an idea for an offering, in terms of a course or like a membership that you're gonna have to like build up and create. Yes, absolutely go through some sort of validation process, whether that's interviewing people that you would offer it to. This is not what I'm talking about here. If you have experience in any field that you could help potentially a beginner at, you're validated. If you have learned a specific practice or a modality and have made it your own in some way, you are validated. Or if you have found a better way to do certain processes that either speeds things up or makes it easier, you're validated. I know you can say that you are validated in at least one of those three examples. And so that is all you need to know, okay? This is more about your mindset. I think a lot of the times we put a lot of pressure on ourselves when we're developing or even thinking about offering something to people that's paid. It's like we automatically think, well, no, that's only for people who have the experience. That's only for people who have made it to this level. And the truth is that is not true at all. Again, all you have to be is 10% ahead of somebody to help them with something. You really don't have to be that much further from somebody to help them. And that is probably the most inspiring thing I could tell you today. Your lived experience is actually very, very valuable to the right person. You just have to find out who that is. And a lot of times, you and I start businesses based on our own life experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be our own like lived through experience. It could just be our experience in observing someone else. But typically it does always have to do with us personally in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, you guys know for me, I was a wellness crafter business owner who turned into a creative solopreneur. So that is who I serve with my content marketing guidance. So let's round it all up just so you can leave here with some clarity and you know your next step when it comes to building your offer. Number one, do not base your offer off of current trends or what everyone is doing on social media. You want sustainability, and I know you do. Number two, don't build an offer unless you have a clarified way of serving people. This is all about your method, your process. Why is it different? How is it different? It is different, okay? You just have to dig a little deeper and find out how. Number three, do not build an offer without a very clear A to B transformation. There is so much content on the internet these days about this transformation statement and kind of building something that takes people from A, their problem state, to B, their solution state. So dig a little deep and find out what is the transformation that you offer and how can you make it super, super crystal clear to people. And number four, do not wait to be validated to create your offer. You are validated, okay? You watching this video, you're probably at least 20 years old. If you're not 20 years old and you're watching this, leave me a comment because you probably are like a hustler. If you are watching this right now, you have experience, you have something to offer to people, okay? It's just a matter of organizing that, making sure it's valuable to people, and making sure you're not falling into any of these pitfalls. If you're curious about how to really piece this offer together and you want to see kind of a real life, maybe case study experience, I want to tell you about this video that I created. It is about my client's podcast. She built a loyal community of 2,000 people and growing and got monetized in under 3 months with my method. So if you want to check that out, the video is here. I don't know which side, but it is here if you want to check that out. Also, be sure to get on the waitlist for my group consulting called the Content Burnout Solution. I take on 5 people in only 2 weeks, 2 sessions, and you learn how to completely streamline content so that it is easy and automated. And I actually teach you how to get real ROI from your content. So if you're interested in that, the link is down below. Thank you so, so much for watching, and I will see you there.